Mali just shocked the ECOWAS nations. With resilience, ambition, and quest for independence, Mali, a nation many thought was destined to remain burdened with debt, has achieved what seemed almost impossible. It has officially paid off all of its $332 million debt.
Listen, guys, Mali has just shocked the ECOWAS to become first African country to be debt-free. Imagine, Mali, goodness, Mali that have been passing through a lot becomes first African country to be debt-free. Can you imagine that? How did they do that? This is so magical. This is magical. This is what ECOWAS nation have never thought in their mind. Have you ever seen an ECOWAS nation that's even thinking to free its country from debt? No, they can't, because they are in chains. They are tied up. Just look at small boys doing it. First of all, when Asimi Goïta take over the administration of Mali, first he rejected Western aids. He said he doesn't need it. They are rich. Just that statement alone, we are rich. I don't need your aids. Since then, upon all the instability going on in the country, upon all the Western propaganda, this man has been doing it, tackling it, working day and night. And now he has managed to pay the remaining debt of $332 million. He paid it. Now he's debt-free. Remember that if you are any country that's always borrowing money, is always being controlled. Sometimes they will tell you to do something that you don't even want to do. You may get all kinds of proposals from the IMF, World Bank, or even Americans, because you are owing them, because you keep borrowing money from them, because they keep giving you Western aids. Look at the last 3 months, Nigeria received almost $16 million from the Americans. Why? They want to help you. They want to give you $60 million to help your citizens. Nothing is free. In this world of today, nothing is free. You and I know this thing. The AES members, this combination of Sahel region, these countries have proven that they are the 3 giants in Africa. These people deserve every support they get because they are doing it. Ibrahim Traore said that he doesn't need any Western aids, that they are rich, they have many resources. Mali have a lot of solid minerals. The same thing with Burkina Faso. They have managed to nationalize some of these companies and industries, and they are making money for them. They are building a lot of infrastructure, transforming their nation, even in the instability that these people are creating, because they keep on pumping all these rebels to them. But these guys keep on defeating them, keep on fighting them, and they are winning. They are winning. They keep winning. You see, Mali is going back to the glory of, maybe, I can't remember the year 1990, but many of us remember Mensa Musa. This was one of the richest, not even one of, he was the richest man on earth. Mensa Musa. I can remember the story vividly, that he single-handedly collapsed the Egyptian economy because he was passing through Egypt. What did he do? He handed, what do we call it, gold to the people he saw on the street. He was just dashing them gold. People he saw on the street. And with what he was doing at then, I can't remember whether 1901 or 19 something, I can't remember the date, but this was written down. If you can go and look it up, you'll see it. This man single-handedly collapsed the Egyptian economy because he passed, a big man passed. He was dashing people gold on the street. A lot of gold. Imagine the nation's economy collapsed. These are the glory of Africa. That's the true wealth. Mali is going back to that. Because imagine, do you know what it means to be debt-free? A country to be debt-free. A lot of countries are owing. I'm not saying that owing is bad, but owing too much is bad. Owing too much is not good. because it will bring disrespect to you as a nation. Congratulations to Mali. Congratulations to Africa. At least we have countries that are getting it right, and we can support them.
But how did Mali, under the leadership of President Asimi Goïta, pull off such a feat? To fully understand the weight of this accomplishment, let's rewind a bit. For years, like many African countries, Mali had been struggling under the crushing weight of foreign and domestic debt. Loans from international organizations, foreign governments, and private lenders created a system that many felt was unbreakable. Mali's debt load was holding back its economic progress. Every year, millions of dollars that could have gone to healthcare, education, and infrastructure instead went toward paying interest. But Mali wasn't alone. Many African nations find themselves in a similar position. This is where our story takes a dramatic turn. Enter Asimi Goïta, a man who came into power in a time of deep crisis. But Goïta had a vision. A Mali that wouldn't just survive, but thrive independently. When Goïta assumed leadership, he knew he needed to tackle the debt problem head-on. But how? With limited resources, international sanctions, and a nation still healing from internal conflicts, it was a mountain of a challenge. So let's break down Goïta's economic strategy. His approach can be summarized into 3 pillars: resource management, renegotiating debt terms, and promoting local industry. Mali is rich in gold, among other resources. Goïta prioritized increasing revenue from these natural resources, ensuring that the wealth generated was more directly benefiting Malians. By renegotiating mining deals and increasing government stakes in mining operations, Mali was able to significantly increase its revenue stream. This bold move sent a strong message. Mali's resources would no longer line the pockets of foreign investors at the expense of the Malian people. But raising funds was only half the battle. Goïta's administration reached out to their creditors and negotiated aggressively. Some debts were restructured, while other payments were delayed, giving Mali much-needed breathing room. By renegotiating their debt terms, Mali avoided default and strategically reduced its interest obligations. Mali's leadership also understood the importance of self-sufficiency. Investments were directed toward agriculture, local manufacturing, and even renewable energy projects. This created jobs, reduced reliance on imports, and strengthened the local economy. With more people employed and more goods being produced domestically, Mali started to see a significant improvement in its economic resilience. Now, here's where things get really exciting. After years of hard work, Mali was left with just a fraction of its debt. But the last millions were still tough to clear. Goïta made a bold announcement. Mali would clear every last dollar by the end of the year. The government allocated funds carefully, cut down on non-essential spending, and even encouraged the public to support local businesses and products. Every effort was made to funnel as much as possible toward that final payment. And then, they did it. The news spread like wildfire. Mali was now the first African country to be free from foreign and domestic debt obligations. The people celebrated, not just because of the financial freedom, but because this was a moment of pride, a message that African nations could reclaim their financial sovereignty. But what does this mean for the rest of Africa? Mali has set a powerful precedent. It has shown that, with determined leadership and strategic planning, even the most indebted nations can break free. For other African nations struggling under debt, this victory could be a beacon of hope. Of course, this is only the beginning. Mali is now at a crossroads. Debt-free doesn't mean risk-free, and challenges still lie ahead. To maintain economic growth, Mali must continue to strengthen its industries, manage its resources wisely, and protect its newfound independence. The country must also navigate global pressures. Economic independence can attract attention, both positive and negative. Asimi Goïta's leadership will be tested as he steers Mali forward. The international reaction? Mixed, to say the least. Financial institutions, foreign investors, and even other governments are watching closely. Some view Mali as an emerging model for African nations, while others may see this as a threat to their interests in the region. What's clear is that Mali's achievement has sparked a conversation across the continent. Can other African countries follow Mali's example? What could Africa look like with more nations reclaiming their financial independence? In the end, Mali's journey to debt freedom is about more than just numbers. It's a story of resilience, pride, and the power of a nation coming together to build a future on its own terms. Mali has sent a message to the world. Africa is capable of greatness when it's free to determine its own path. Thank you for joining us in exploring this incredible story. What do you think? Can other African nations achieve the same independence? What should be the next steps for Mali? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on more stories from Africa and around the world.